Last time on Dice Funk.
All the gods are dead, which is a good way to start any world, but sort of the last act they did was to create these biomes, these places for people to live. Thus, this biome has been created that is almost entirely plant life. In fact, if you were to consider landmass, it is entirely plant life. There is a sizable chunk of just living plants that all have been grouped together to create somewhat of an island, and there is a wide variety of weird plant life that can be found there. But in addition to this strange place of plants, there is an ocean that it sits upon, and in that ocean is a well that people's remains can be dropped into and then bring them back to life. It's a resurrection well. And our story concerns the top half of this adventure, the above side, the plant island side, where there is a movement being done to basically make sure that the people who are getting revived are not tremendous assholes. So a team has been put forth to basically ensure that the people being revived don't suck too much. And that is what your characters will be doing.
I am playing a character named Stranger, who is a Harvestkin, and you may be asking, what the fuck is a Harvestkin? That doesn't come up when I Google anything related to D&D. It's a pumpkin person. Yeah, I'm doing it. You can't stop me. I needed my plant person to be this. There was no other option for me.
I'm going to be playing Lilian Sparridge. Faye is a dryad bard, and specifically, Faye is a bard of the College of Spirits, but I've kind of reflavored it a little bit to be specifically floral themed. And the reason that Lilian is here in Plant World to begin with is because Faye had a close friend of theirs that unfortunately passed away, and Faye brought them back to life by bringing them to the well, and now wants to extend that same opportunity to as many people as Faye can.
My character is a treant named Hialeah. Treant is the no copyright infringement version of the Ent from Lord of the Rings, so a tree person. She's seen everything, talked to everyone, has a lot of experience, but has finally come to this place where there are seemingly endless stories to be discovered and written in calligraphy. So yeah, there's kind of a spectrum here of optimistic about resurrection, skeptical of resurrection, and then Hialeah thinks of herself as like a neutral, objective observer. She wants to write like great biographies of these people, like if they're like terrible villains who can't be brought back, she wants to chronicle that. If they're great heroes who deserve to be resurrected, she wants to write about that.
Me and my new friends here were coming over to see you. Mock sent us over.
Oh, wasn't this just plumb wonderful? This is great. Hey, shucks, I haven't even said my name. My name's Harper. I'm a construction here over at the gig, and he is going to sort of like dry his hands on his overalls before offering Stranger a handshake. Be like, oh, is it time for my brother? Oh, that's just wonderful. Really just a great day getting better. Go, we did it. I don't know why Austin has to make it so complicated.
Atheists, imagine you're going skydiving with a Christian baby. Suddenly the baby tells you he won't open his parachute until you renounce atheism and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. What would you do?
Well, this baby appears to be able to talk in full sentences as a baby, so either this is the world's smartest baby, or it is Jesus. So either way, if it hits the ground, it's going to rise again in 3 days, right? So we're probably good.
I don't know. Jesus always rises in 3 days. It might have been a one-time offer. It might have been a special coupon he cashed in.
I think you can only punch that ticket once. The next time Jesus dies, that's it.
Now, Dan questioned whether or not this baby was a genius, and I could perhaps counter by saying perhaps it is one of the titular baby geniuses. Those were pretty smart babies.
Oh, I remember Baby Geniuses. I think we rented that on DVD when I was a kid.
Did it change your life?
It definitely left an impact.
On how you see babies?
On how you see geniuses?
Just on my fucking... Just like an impact on how I viewed how CG is used in movies, because it is extremely obvious, and it wasn't even the first Baby Geniuses, it was the second one where they become superheroes.
Oh no, not Super Babies. Baby Geniuses 2 starring John Voight and Scott Baio.
I feel like I've only seen the sequel.
I didn't know the first one existed.
Wait, you
Until
thought
I
they
was like in my teens.
You thought they started with number 2 just like as a flex?
I truly hate this poster. I hate everything about this poster.
Statistically speaking, what is the anomaly that we have two people on here who have seen Baby Geniuses 2, Super Babies, but have not seen the original Baby Geniuses?
I'm sorry, I've just learned some new fun information. 3 direct-to-video sequels follow the film. Baby Geniuses and the Mystery of the Crown Jewels, Baby Geniuses and the Treasure of Egypt, and Baby Geniuses and the Space Baby, with Voight appearing as various characters throughout the series. John Voight, I know your brain is pudding, you sad, pathetic little man, but what the fuck do you think you're doing? Does the producer of Baby Geniuses have some fucking nasty dirt on you? What are you doing? Do you just really like talking babies?
I have a question, because I don't remember these movies at all. I was, I think 3 years old when the first one came out. Are they like super smart for babies, or are they geniuses themselves? Like,
let me take this as someone who's seen the first 2 films. I can actually
you know
this
the
out
lore.
for you. Yeah, I know the lore. The lore in this universe is actually that all babies know all the secrets of the universe, and when you grow up, you forget them. So all babies are actually geniuses. At birth.
Wait a minute. Are we saying that Boss Baby lifted its plot from Baby Geniuses?
I don't.
This is a big outrage.
I've never seen Boss Baby. That seems like a kind of a knockoff of a superior film, so I wouldn't lower myself to watching Boss Baby.
I'm sorry, I just need to read the plot synopsis that I'm seeing for Baby Geniuses 2.
Quinn, how do you feel about this being the episode? This is how it is sometimes. You show up having prepared all day, you have all the numbers figured out, your plot, your characters, and then some of these fucking yahoos are like, let me tell you about this John Voight vehicle.
The Baby Geniuses become involved... The Baby Geniuses become involved in a scheme by media mogul Bill Biscayne, also known as Kane, who kidnaps children everywhere. Just a wild sentence already. I guess he's just taking kids. Helping the geniuses is a legendary super baby named Kahuna, who stops Biscayne's plots
Kahuna
and saves children from being kidnapped by Biscayne and his minions.
Baby Geniuses and the Space Babies on Tubi, in case you want to check that one out real quick. Oh, damn.
Beloved Tubi, place where you can find so many beautiful movies like Baby Geniuses and the Space Baby.
I will not accept Tubi slander on this podcast. Look,
I like
yes,
Tubi too.
You can get a Baby Geniuses 2 on there. You can also get a Good Will Hunting sometimes, okay? There's classics of all genres here.
Oh my god.
So,
oh my god.
pay some respect.
Oh my god. Is this real? I'm going to be watching this throughout the episode. You cannot believe how this looks. This is like sub YouTube sketch level.
If I remember right, I think the Kahuna, the super baby, the progenitor super baby, is like permanently a baby. I think he just did that to himself. It's like a nightmare resurfacing.
He's like as old as an adult man. It's like that one condition where people look young but they're old, but like more because he's the baby.
Holy shit, I'm sorry. Kahuna is a super baby with super strength and doesn't seemingly age. and he once rescued a group of children from an evil orphanage at the Berlin Wall run by the villainous overseer. Can you guess who it is, folks?
I sure hope it's not who I'm worried about.
You're right, Quinn. It's Adolf Hitler.
What is that from Super Babies? Baby Genius 2?
I'm gonna invoke the here to said uninvoked Hitler rule, which is to say, once Hitler has been brought up, the preamble conversation needs to come to an end.
I'm lightheaded and dizzy. I'm watching this man eat ice cream in front of a green screen. Fucking John Voight could reveal his social security number in both sides of his credit card during this thing, and no one would have noticed.
It had a budget of $20 million and made back 9.4.
Oh no.
I feel like we're gonna have to release this talk as a separate episode or something. I am genuine. I have Baby Geniuses 5, the Space Baby, loaded up on Tubi, and I'm watching this as we record. I'm sorry, I just am.
All right, let's reconvene this weekend for a bonus Speed Punk episode, the Baby Geniuses series review.
Oh god, I'm crying.
Spearpunk, of course, found on Patreon for $1. Hey, everybody, welcome to Dice Funk. It is episode 2 of the wet team, or no, the dry team, above team, whatever we are.
We are
Take 3.
the above dry team. We are above the water, so we are dry.
When we aren't talking about Baby Geniuses, the film franchise that was beloved by many, we come here to play D&D. You may not be completely used to our voices at this point, so it's a good opportunity for us to introduce ourselves once again. We'll do this just a couple of times, then you'll know which one of us Nix is which, and we'll carry on. But my name is Quinn, she, they. I am the dungeon master, so I come with all of the little monsters and NPCs and riddles and elaborate dungeon puzzles that I built solely for myself because this is an exclusively audio medium.
I can go next. Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm Cosbanyan most corners of the web, and I was invited in season 9 to play a mini arc, and then I have been lying in wait, ready to strike, until I had the opportunity to play a full season, which is now. You can support me on patreon.com/Cosbanyan, where I post early pages of my webcomic, Runaway Dracaina, and updates on the production for the comic version of the mini campaign I played in season 9. And then I also have an online shop that I'm about to put some new stickers on. They're aliens, but they're pride colors.
Ooh. And who are you playing?
I'm playing Lilian Sparridge, a theatrical dryad with an accent that I'm still trying to nail down. But Faye uses Faye-they pronouns, is a dryad bod of... me and Skitch did some workshopping behind the scenes. I am a bod of the College of Drama, which is technically the College of Spirits, but a little bit workshopped to be more thematically relevant.
Awesome. All right, who's next?
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm looking at a lot of Baby Geniuses pictures right now. I'm not like a promotable person. I'm just a guy that Quinn dragged out of New Jersey to show up on Dice Funk every now and then. Show up on Dice Funk every now and again. I'm playing Stranger, the Harvestkin Druid. He's a pumpkin monster. I like pumpkins and Halloween, so I took my chance and yeah.
Does it hurt you at all to know that this season is going to be released sometime around Christmas and like the New Year season? Have you considered changing your character to a fur Harvestkin?
I think, like, if anything, I should be like just a big. I did once do a Christmas one shot with a constantly sobbing Christmas tree treat. That was fun. It was How Krispy Kringle Stole Christmas.
Interesting. That is not the only holiday themed or Christmas themed one shot you've been a part of as well.
I thought you were going to bring up the one you were on for Dice Funk, where you played the lovable, what was it, Garbo?
Well, that was Gorbo Gutter Slump, the greatest hero to ever live. And in that story, there was no Christmas trees. There was a snowman with human teeth, however, and that was deeply uncomfortable for, I think, everyone involved. And also skin. I think it had skin. It was a rough time for everyone. But yeah, I'm here to have a good time, roll dice. And man, these pictures of baby geniuses are real rough. Please, Austin, take the next step. We gotta get moving.
Yeah, update. I'm still watching Baby Geniuses, the space baby. The Soviet Union still exists in this universe. They've shown off a bunch of hammer and sickle technology here. I am watching it with the sound off, so I'm not picking up the nuances of the plot. I'm sure there's a lot of rich world building about how the Cold War went in this universe, which I'm sure John Voight had a lot of hand in, him being who he is. I'm Austin Yorsky, as you can probably tell. This is usually the show I'm in charge of. This time I'm just being a complete gremlin to poor Quinn. You can find me everywhere at Austin Yorsky. The most important one is patreon.com/Austin Yorsky, where you can find Spewpunk, our bonus show, for only $1. It's a great value. I'm on social media at Austin Yorsky in a couple places. I'm playing Hialeah, the treant, who is a baobab tree person. She is a fighter, and she is a calligrapher. Her specialty is writing a kind of illuminated manuscripts about people. That's why she's here in Dry Team, to get inspiration, to maybe write some biographies. And we're going to find out more about her this episode. Why they can just shoot in France? Why is it on a green screen? The tower exists. You can just go there.
They don't let babies in France anymore.
Okay, I forgot about that.
Baby Geniuses and the space baby is going to have an irrevocable effect on the early development of your character, Austin.
I was gonna say, does this
through.
season spontaneously become the Baby Geniuses season?
What a kick in the face that would be for you to prepare for months and months and months, and then this to just completely change the course of everything. This scene of them eating ice cream has gone on for 4 minutes. I guess Hialeah wrote the in-universe equivalent of Baby Geniuses. That's the only way I can square the circle. That was like her masterpiece.
Oh, so you've been exiled to this island.
Yeah, she wrote Sproutling Scholars or something. Seed Wunderkin in her society has been shunned for her dark crimes.
So you would not pass the vibe check to be revived as a result of this?
She thinks she would, but I think her heart might be heavier than a feather when it comes down to it.
That would be great if your vibe check was just basically watching Sproutling Scholars 4 or whatever. You just had to sit through the movie, and that's what you judge people on.
And I'm just weeping sap. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Oh, God. Please have mercy on my dirty little heart. I fucked up so bad.
Well, it's interesting we bring up the vibe check because that is what you all are about to do. Last time you went and gathered the remains of Roman, Harper's brother, and you are returning to the banyan tree, and this is going to be where you do this ritual, this experience, so to speak. Speaker Mox is there with you, and he is going to lead you to the base of this enormous banyan tree, and you can see that there is at the very base of it sort of I don't want to call it a doorway because this has not been constructed in and of itself. It is more like I guess, could you say crevice for something like that? Like a crack, essentially a crack in this tree that you're able to walk inside. And that is where Speaker Mox is going to lead you.
Before we go in, I think Stranger will stop his two compatriots for a moment and say, you were close friends with this Harper, yes?
Harper's still alive.
Yeah, yes, he's not meaning to refer to him as the... He's talking about the person we just interacted with.
Yeah. Me and Harper have been friends since I got here.
Then I understand this is a special circumstance, but I think going forward we should take a more distant tact emotionally with the petitioners. I'm not sure it is healthy for us to get so close to someone who we might have to deny a revival to their loved ones.
Oh, so you're one of those fly in the wall types. Yeah, I mean, I get the argument for that, but sometimes, some of the greatest true crime writing is when you get right up in there and kind of make yourself part of the story, fall in love with the guy while he's in jail and just really get mixed up and kind of become a main character in the whole thing. Remember Serial? That was weird.
Doesn't that potentially result in you being a victim of a true crime? And then, well, I suppose it sort of continues a cycle, and then someone else gets involved, and then they get murdered.
I mean, it'll make me a victim of success, I'll tell you that right now.
Hi, Leia. I love the angle. I was thinking more, I understand your concern, stranger, but I feel like at a certain point it's kind of hard not to get emotionally invested. I mean, these people want to bring their loved ones back to life. And I feel like it's just a certain manner of, bedside manner to be nice to them and, hear them out before we go do a vibe check.
Of course, but there is a difference between understanding their concerns and where they're coming from and, well, hugging them and being emotionally attached.
He gives great hugs, though. That's the problem.
He does know how to fix it with love.
I mean, as long as I report accurately the involvement, I don't think there's a problem, ethically speaking. I mean, you can do you. Maybe you're the control group, and then Lilian can be friendship, and I can just be, writing it down. I think that's good. We have the whole, the plausible deniability.
I'm just offering my take on the situation. I believe it is personally best to be distant, but you are your own people. I have no control over you.
That's a suspiciously specific denial. I didn't think you had any control of us until you said that. Now I'm worried.
You're quite bigger than me. I don't think that's something you should be concerned about.
Hialeah, I believe that you might be picking up on some foreshadowing that doesn't actually exist. Stranger just got here.
Mm-hmm. I got my eye on you, pumpkin.
Oh dear.
So, Speaker Mox is sitting outside of the tree, kind of waiting for you guys to finish the conversation. And as it seems to end, you can look over and see him having his hand around a flower that's not fully bloomed yet. And he sort of waves his arm around it. And you can see that the flower starts to bloom sort of in concurrence with the motion of his hand. And he'll look up and say, "Y'all ready?"
Ready for spaghetti.
I had a bunch of pumpkin-shaped pasta earlier.
Did it taste like pumpkin?
No, it was just regular pasta.
That feels like a grand disappointment on many levels. Come on in. It might be a little cramped for you, Hialeah, but should be all right.
It's time to light the lights and put on a show.
All right, so the three of you enter into the banyan tree alongside Speaker Mox, and when you get inside, you find a rather, let's say, significantly powerful appearance to this location, very reverent. This is not like a flashy location. It is illuminated by a couple sort of luminescent mushrooms that are growing growing along the inside of this tree, and a couple of very small motes of light that kind of flicker through. But otherwise, the inside of this tree is sort of a pitch darkness, but hums sort of with power, sort of an energy that you can somewhat palpably feel.
Can I roll nature on tree?
Sure, absolutely.
We let you know about tree.
I would also like to know about tree.
Wow, 15.
22.
14.
Yeah, we got an amazing roll from everybody here. So Stranger rolled the highest here. So I think what you're kind of seeing is a grand interest. You, I think, more than anyone here, has an interest in what this tree is. Everyone else has lived here for a little bit of time, even though this is all of your first time in the tree, presumably. But this tree has a real energy to it that you can feel. There is a magic here that is not arcane in any way. This is definitely like a primal power of some sort. This doesn't seem to be like a magic tree per se, like a wizard made it or anything like that. But this tree is exuding this energy that does make you feel a bit at ease. You may not know exactly how it works quite yet, but I believe that is what Speaker Mox has been saying. If you have any questions, he might be the person to go to. He's the only one who's done this before.
Yeah, I think Stranger like steps inside, and then he's kind of like he, as you said, he's calmed down, but he's also kind of like in awe of like the mystical power running through here. This is probably one of the most like powerful magical experiences he's ever really had in his life up till this point. So it's probably catching him off guard a little bit.
Why is there a door, a big hole in the tree? Why a door tree?
You know, that is a very good question. I think that over time, the tree opened itself up, so to speak.
Is it because banyan trees are strangler figs and they consume other trees and choke the life out of them, and then when the original trees rot, they leave a big space inside of them?
And that could maybe play into it as well. You're the tree person, perhaps you could educate me.
I was just saying that was more like Quinn to Austin and being like, oh, if you think about it like a death metaphor, it works on multiple levels.
You're the little tree freak. Why don't you illuminate us?
Just I think a question that I have that I'll ask in character is, so this tree, like, when you got here and you started doing vibe checks, was it just like this to begin with? Like, you didn't do any fancy magic yourself to make it, like, open up and do what you want it to do?
I can assure you I have done nothing to this tree. Everything it's doing is of its own will. Will seems like a weird word to use, but the tree has sort of made these decisions for itself. It wants to help with this, for at least as I can understand it. It wasn't always like this when I first showed up. I came just because I heard there was a great big tree. It was just over time that it opened itself up and the process sort of began.
How was its, I suppose, vibe checking power discovered? You said you can understand it. Did it speak to you directly?
More or less, yes. The tree told me, enter inside, see what power I have, bring a body. It never really said words. It's more of a feeling that I get. Communicating with impulses, I guess.
I'm putting a picture of a view from inside a banyan tree where you can see it's hollow all the way through. It's called a columnar tree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But that's not naturally forming. That's where a different tree used to be before this one crushed and killed it. Because they're cool like that.
That's sick as hell. Being inside a giant banyan tree with that fucking angle, like, that does sound very, like, move you in a very primal way kind of deal.
Yeah, but like, what if we replaced it with a concrete strip mall?
Yeah. And a movie theater that plays nothing but Baby Geniuses. Yep.
Yeah. Someone Photoshop an Auntie Anne's inside this tree.
Yeah, it needs Nanny Ann's and an FYE, and suddenly it'll be a cool spot to hang out.
So do we just place his ashes here and then... Well, I suppose what's the process? Mox? I think you'll have to guide us through the first one. Don't want to fall off the bicycle.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good question for me, Quinn, as the DM, to you guys, the players. This is going to be the event you'll be doing throughout the season. So, how does this process seem in your mind? I mean, there are any number of ways that people can do these sorts of transformative experiences. Is this sort of like a meditation where you like all get down and then close your eyes and suddenly you feel transported? Is there could like a drug element to it, like you're like, oh, drink a little tree sap and suddenly we're there? Or hell, is this like a Power Rangers moment where you turn your little morphers and suddenly boom, vibe check time?
Yeah, we summon the Megazord.
So the thing that I've been imagining is like taking like the ashes or the corpse or whatever you have to vibe check with, and like doing something to connect it with the tree. Like, in my mind, there's like a little tree pedestal, and you put it there, and then like connect to it with like the roots, and then like everyone like gathers around that. I'm curious what Dan was gonna say.
Well, sort of building off of what you said, what Austin was establishing is that this is a type of tree that grows around and strangles other things. I would think that the natural extension of that would be we get inside and then the internal roots grow over us and the body.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit like how in Pan's Labyrinth, you kind of go from the real world to the magical world, kind of gradually, like you're crossing over. So like we're going deeper into it, like the roots and stuff. It's just like 1 minute we're on the island and the next we're in the mind space or whatever. But there's also, we could just like feed the person's body to the tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea that you're potentially walking like deeper into this tree, and at some point you've transported into the mind palace.
Oh fuck! Sarah just put a Photoshop of an Auntie Anne's inside the banyan tree. Oh, that's great. But literally, I'm sorry to just keep going back to this. Ophelia does go into a fig tree in Pan's Labyrinth, and so that's literally a thing that happens in that film. And she goes into sees a magical toad in there. I don't know if you all remember this scene.
I've never seen Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh my god!
My point of reference is like Alice going into the rabbit hole, Coraline going into the tiny door.
Okay, so we are going to stop recording right now and go watch Pan's Labyrinth, right?
I'm going to watch Baby Geniuses 5, I don't know.
Okay, so what we got to do is we got to put Baby Geniuses on one screen, and we got to put Pan's Labyrinth on the other one.
Oh we had to see where they line up.
Yeah, it's like Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz.
I don't remember John Voight being in Pan's Labyrinth, but he's in it a lot.
Yeah, he kind of kills it. But yeah, I just put it in a video for the scene. I have it start at the part where she goes into the tree. So, if you want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, this is up to you. I think this is a great opportunity to collaborate and decide how you characters do this. You could certainly walk into the tree, and like maybe as you continue to walk into it, you could feel the roots slowly intertwine you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, what if we do it without the ashes first and just nothing happens? We're just stumbling around inside a big tree, right?
Yes.
Oh, like you've got to be carrying them in order for anything to happen.
Yeah, that makes like the inside, the body of the tree, what we probably think of as vines, which are actually like roots, kind of wind around you.
Makes sense to me.
I like that.
Take a picture or take a look at this picture of what the roots look like when they're coming towards you. How does that make you feel?
Oh.
You know what? Ooh, I think it's getting a little hot in here.
I feel very comforted and not scared.
There's like a thing on the ocean floor like this, right? Isn't there like a thing on the ocean floor where like thousands and thousands of worms kind of stick up in that kind of position?
Whoa.
There are like eels that do that. That reminds me, Austin, I hope you saw the news that since you're doing so much stuff with geothermal vents in the wet side,
Uh-huh.
they've now discovered that there are things living under that as well.
Ooh.
Oh my, yeah. It's getting wild down there. It's basically science fiction. It's basically fantasy at the bottom of the ocean already. So I don't need to do that much work.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like a little combination of both. So we're traveling deeper into the root system of this tree, getting all these little like vine root fingers wrapping them around us as we like trudge deeper and deeper till like all light is kind of blocked out, and then they start to recede, slowly letting the light back in as we continue to walk until we are transported into the Mind Palace.
All right. You guys will go through that process. You're walking in. These roots strangle you in a strange way, and then slowly recede, revealing to you a new location that you're in. You find yourselves inside of a living room. It is sort of inside of this wooden house. You can find sort of like an attachment to this room that leads into what looks like a kitchen area, and it seems to be sort of well furnished and well lived in as well.
Let's look around. Investigation?
Yeah, so you guys, I would like an investigation check. However, this will not be considered a group investigation check. I think that this is all three of you picking your own way to try to investigate this scene.
Chris.
Jesus, I hate you.
Crit. I focus very hard on my leaves, and I just spin around, throwing them in every direction, and all my little leaves are like, like the fingerprint powder at a crime scene.
Okay, so we're gonna cover all Hialeah last. In the meantime, we got passes from everybody here, so we're gonna start with Stranger. What would you be drawn to in this investigation? What is it in this room you would find yourself first drawn to?
I think Stranger. So he knows that this man died in a fire, and he's probably drawn immediately to if there's any sort of like lit candles or lamps in this building. What is going to incite this man's death? How did he actually die?
Okay, so yeah, you absolutely can find a bunch of like small lanterns kind of hung on the walls and things of that nature, but none of them are currently lit. In fact, they're kind of cold to the touch when you go to investigate them. There's like a little bit of ash in them. Maybe they haven't been cleaned in a little bit.
Yeah, I think he like runs his hand through the ash and like lets it sift through his fingers, and then probably determines that this fire is coming from outside of the building, or this is entirely metaphorical.
When you go and you swipe your finger through the ashes, you see a message inside as sort of engraved into the lantern.
Oh, what does it say?
It says, "The happiest time in my life was when we were family."
Ooh.
Lilian, what would you be drawn to in this room? What calls to you? How are you trying to investigate?
Well, I think that something that Lilian takes a lot of stock in and values a lot is like the things that Roman, that's the name?
Yes.
Roman would have maybe been doing like during like and before and during the fire, which is like probably like investigating like anything that would have been used as like something to pass the time, entertainment, books, scrolls, games, that kind of thing. Like looking through like any bookshelves or like drawers that might be holding stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You could find definitely some books that are on the table, and you see that one is currently already opened up.
Ooh, I'm going to check out that book and see what page it's open on.
You open the book up and you find that there is a line of text at the top of the book that says, "I should never be forgiven for this."
And then you turn the page, and it's just the nastiest fanfic you've ever read. And you're like, no one should forgive this man. We can leave immediately.
It's Baby Genius's fanfic.
God damn it.
You turn the page, and it's Baby Genius is the script.
Lilian's entire worldview has been 180'd extremely quickly. We have to get out of here. We got to get out of Dodge.
I'll give you all the screen cap of this film I'm watching. Have any people ever looked less like they were in a place than all these actors standing outside of St. Peter's Basilica?
That's not Steven Seagal, is it?
No, but it should be.
These children look very confused. Everyone seems uncomfortable. I don't like that the children are wearing like half of an outfit.
Yeah, it's making me uncomfortable.
It's distracting. I don't understand why. These look like 3-year-olds. I don't get it. I hate this.
Because if they didn't have a diaper on, you'd forget these are baby geniuses.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Though, like, what do people identify with? Babies, diapers. All right, let's get these 3-year-olds in diapers again.
This does look to be like a 3-year-old. Are they implying these 3-year-olds are just constantly shitting themselves that they weren't potty trained?
I said St. Peter's Basilica. Obviously, this is St. Basil's Cathedral, a different building in Russia.
You fucking idiot.
I didn't want to embarrass you.
I can't believe you've done this, Austin.
I'm sorry. Everyone, of course, knows the difference between these buildings.
Last thing I'll say is that I think when Lilian sees that bit of text in the book, Faye is going to look kind of concerned, but like not quite sure what to make of it yet.
All right, Hialeah, what would you be investigating in this place?
Yeah, I mean, with my crit, I'm trying to get as broad of a coverage as possible. Are the rules, are the physics different in here? You said Mind Palace. I don't know if we're gonna have a different in-universe term in the tree space.
Brain Shack.
Huh?
Brain Shack.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking she kind of focuses on her leaves, lets them kind of waft away into the corners of the room, and she doesn't always feel her leaves once they've left, but just long enough as if she's doing like echolocation, just getting a sense of the whole room.
Okay, so yeah, one thing that I think you find yourself drawn to is a section of photographs. You can find like a section of what look like sort of photos of the family. There are some of Harper. There are some of what you would assume is the extended family. This is a family that looks all very identical to one another. Like you can see the parents. You're like, yeah, those are Harper's parents. I see it. Like right there. It's there. But you do see one photo that is all of them, or rather not all of them. It is Harper and Roman together. You can identify Roman in that. He looks near identical to Harper. But as you stare at the photo, you find that Roman's face starts to get paler and paler to the point where it is almost sort of like sheet white, and all detail in his eyes start to vanish, so they become like these pupilless things.
Whoa. I've been thinking about the season as Psychonauts season for so long, I just realized it could also be Silent Hill season. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Can I roll religion about this seemingly changing photograph?
Sure, yeah, you can absolutely roll it.
This is actually one of her better skills. I imagine this season religion is going to kind of be synonymous with tree stuff. That's just a 10, so just an average.
This doesn't strike you as any kind of religious signal of any kind, but I will say that because of your earlier crit, you catch something out of the corner of your eye that did not seem to be in this room a couple minutes ago. And it is a blue stuffed rabbit that is sitting on a mantelpiece right next to the photographs.
I gesture to the other party members and I say, "Look at this photograph." Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
Fuck you. I felt it. I felt it.
How did our eyes get so red? What the hell is on Roman's head? Are photographs weird in this universe? Are there just like steampunk cameras everywhere, or is that weird for our D&D characters?
I don't think you would find it weird. This might be a technology you're unfamiliar with, Hialeah, but it seems like this is sort of the early ages of photography. This is not like this is like, hey, stand here for maybe 30 minutes or whatever, and we're gonna snap this photo with a big lens or whatever, and a big gunpowder explosion.
So to sum up details thus far, the happiest time in my life was when we were a family. I should never be forgiven for this, and they are identical twins.
I will say that them being identical twins is not necessarily the case. They just look very similar. I don't know if you know any people who are siblings and you're like, holy shit, these two people look fucking uncomfortably similar to one another.
To look at the blue bunny, would that be an insight check to kind of get its situation? Because I was thinking investigation, but I just crit on that. Is that the next step, you think?
I think give me a perception check.
Okay, perception.
Let me see if you can look this thing over.
That's going to be a 17.
Should we all be perceiving?
Yeah, it sounds like Hialeah was trying to gather you around.
17?
It led to a Nickelback joke, but...
Joke is strong. We can all just appreciate Nickelback, right? Like, we're all old enough and wise enough to understand that they're not any worse than any other pop rock band. It's fine.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that is a great success. 17, 17, and 16. You guys absolutely can look this rabbit over. It is severely aged. This rabbit seems to have been living a long life as a little furry friend. But as you look it over, you can see that there is a name tag attached to the foot of the rabbit. And on it, it just says Dumas. Dumas.
I lean down to the blue rabbit and just say, big fan of your ice cream.
The rabbit says, Darks.
I think Roman might have done something.
Can you elaborate?
So he gestures to the two notes that he and Lilian found. He is showing regret for some action. It sounds like maybe he might not want to come back, or he does something he feels is unforgivable.
Maybe he just feels bad. Maybe he accidentally set the place on fire. He feels bad about that.
From what Harper told us, it was, I believe, a run-in with pirates?
I think it was like Roman had a lucky encounter getting away from pirates and then lived his life, and then the house caught on fire. Maybe pirates were involved then too, though.
Yeah, I think Stranger wants to try to, I guess, find something indicative of what Roman was doing up to his death. Like, what was going on in his life before the end.
Sure. So interesting that you say that, as you all kind of have this discussion about what you've found so far. You notice that there is a staircase behind you that has not been there before.
All right, so this is definitely working on non-physical rules here. Space is warped, time is bendable, so that's good.
I believe there's nowhere to go but forward.
So as you approach the staircase, you can feel heat starting to billow down from upstairs. And you notice at the top of the staircase, it is on fire.
Yes. Silent Hill. Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, Psychonauts, but extra scary.
Uh-huh.
I think it kind of just depends on who's talking. When Dan talks, it's Silent Hill. When I talk, it's Psychonauts.
Well, that means that there's a chance there's going to be like a monster that for some reason now everyone wants to fuck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't want to so much fuck Pyramid Head as I would appreciate spending time with them, holding hands, and then we'll see where it goes.
But you immediately knew who I was referring to, which says something about culture.
Yeah, Dan, there's only one cool Silent Hill bad guy. I don't make the rules, okay?
Someone hasn't seen the nurses. Interesting.
All right, I know where Austin's brain goes.
So I want to ask, when you say that the staircase is on fire, do you mean like at the bottom of the staircase that we haven't gone down yet, or has it like erupted into fire around where we are?
I should have clarified. I apologize. Thank you for correcting me. This is a staircase leading upwards, and at the top of the staircase, there is fire.
All right.
Okay.
I don't have all of our spell lists memorized. Does anyone have access to water?
Let me see.
We are plant people. This feels like something we should have thought about. Although I guess that's good we didn't metagame, right? We didn't try to come in and cover our bases. That's fun.
I have shape water, but that requires water to be there.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't have any water-based spells.
I do have absorb elements, but that's only good for me when it's happening.
Yeah, I don't have anything explicitly on my character sheet. I will say baobab trees are famously very rotund because of all the water they carry. So I can imagine a scenario where I like poke a hole in my tummy to let some water out and you shape it. I don't know the rules for that exactly. I would assume I would take some damage or do some kind of constitution roll. But yeah, that's outside of game mechanics. That's just kind of having fun with it.
Austin, you really love to bring up that baobabs have a lot of water in them.
I actually have a specific. I mean, also it's just a fun fact about them, but I do. It's the flavor of a different ability I have. So we'll get back there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of these days, we'll find out what's inside Austin's tummy.
I think Stranger would almost be like reticent to putting out the fire, because I think he's coming into it with like the idea that we have to experience who he was and what happened to him to understand what's occurring here. So his gut feeling would be to just calmly walk up the stairs into the flames.
Sure. Is anyone else following, or is Stranger taking this sort of religious expression alone?
I think that Lilian's thought process here is, all right, we're inside of Roman's last moments, and this is like, we are reliving it. I want to do, like I think I want to figure out if we walk into this fire, does it actually hurt us, or is it like an illusion because we're inside somebody's mind? How much does this hurt us or not? So I think all of that is to say Lilian does probably like start. Lilian like follows really shortly after Stranger, because in Fairmind it's like, oh, like what if this is just some kind of like illusion, like a stage trick?
Hialeah?
No, I'm standing at a safe distance behind. In her own mind, she's like, "Oh, I just want to write down what happens." But somewhere in the subconscious, it's like, I don't want to be on fire.
Absolutely. Give me a dexterity saving throw, Stranger.
Okie dokie. 7.
So you're confident. You have an absolute belief this is going to work, and as you walk into the fire, you catch fire. It hurts.
I will say, I don't think it was so much that he was confident he wouldn't get hurt, just that this is what he has to do.
So I will say this right now. As you start to catch fire, you can, continue on through, or you can step back. How much damage you're going to take depends on what you do right here.
Let's see here. I'll cast an absorb elements on myself in this scenario.
Okay.
He's not suicidal. He's just trying to do what he thinks is like needed here to understand this person.
Sure.
So I
so
have,
can
I
you-
have resistance effectively to fire until the start of my next turn.
Sure. Can you just read me what absorb elements does for
Yes.
the audience who may not know D&D too well?
Reaction: when you take acid, fire, cold, lightning, or thunder damage, the spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effect on you and storing it for your next melee attack. You also have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn.
Okay. So you will take 6 damage, but it is, I believe, halved because of your resistance, or do you just absorb that full 6 damage?
I think the way it's written, it implies that I take the full damage, but I'm not sure it's supposed to, because you have resistance to the triggering damage type
That means half.
until the start of your next turn.
Yeah, resistance means you takes half.
Right, but it does that cut. This is a programmatic argument of does the resistance take place after you've taken the damage or not?
Oh no, it's a reaction. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that this is a reaction. You react to being hit by an element by absorbing it and becoming resistant to it for a period of time. So you would take half damage from it.
Okie dokie. 3 damage.
But the important question then is, Lilian, you see that Stranger does catch fire and he casts a spell. Do you continue walking into the fire?
I think as soon as Lilian sees that Stranger did in fact catch on fire, Faye is gonna like stop like the moment before Fairfoot was gonna like enter the flame zone and then like take a step back and go like, oh, just like, oh, okay, that this fire is real here. Okay, Stranger, are you okay in there? Are you gonna come back? Are you gonna keep going? Like, I think I might stand right here if you need any backup and no further.
I believe we must proceed. There is work to be done.
All right. Stranger is on the other side of this fire. Hialeah, Lilian, how are the two of you going to proceed getting through?
That is a very good question. I don't have any spells that could help with this.
yeah, I'm just a dumb fighter. So my intuition is to go back into the living room, grab up a bunch of blankets and things like that to try to smother the flames and just try to do something like that. Just makeshift firefighting techniques. I don't know what kind of role you would like for that.
I would love a survival check.
Oh.
Let's see if you're handy at putting all this together, finding what you need.
That's a 4. Just a 4.
It looks like there is unfortunately only one blanket downstairs, and it's pretty small, so it doesn't look like it'll cover your massive size.
Oh no.
How big
That's a
is
shame.
this? How big is this fire? Like,
It covers the staircase. You can see through it. Like you could see Stranger like kind of standing over, or like his head popping over the top of the flames, but it covers it. This isn't something you could like sneak underneath. Maybe you could jump over it. It'd be a challenge, but you could.
I have a pretty good acrobatics because I guess I do a lot of like stunt work in the theater, and I was wondering if I could like try to roll for acrobatics to like get through this as fast as possible to minimize the damage.
Sure, if you'd like, you can give me an acrobatics check to see if you can leap over the fire and sort of roll your way past it.
22.
Holy fuck! Yeah, absolutely. You describe this. You can do whatever you want.
I think
Go for it.
Just after Lillian's kind of like surprised that fire is real, actually, Faye's gonna like take that step back and then kind of like rub her hands together, like pull down Fair little spellcasting focus, which is a little masquerade mask, and try to remember the stunt work that Faye has done before, and then just try to back up and barrel forward to just try and get up the stairs as quickly and painlessly as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Faye absolutely succeeds. You are up at the top of the stairs next to Stranger, and all we have left is to figure out how Hialeah gets up there.
Yeah, this is the great question. You've thrown a puzzle perfectly suited to my character, which is to say, -4 acrobatics. The idea, like, so she sees Fair jump and just like laughs, like, haha, jumping. What a silly idea! Can you imagine someone propelling their body off the ground? What a lark! That's not happening. That's not what we're doing here. Can you all look ahead, see if there's a source of water or something? Because I don't think I'm walking up this staircase anytime soon.
Just if you want to hunker down the fort downstairs, we could try to look around and see if we can find anything.
Yeah, I mean, I crit on my, investigation for this place, so I assume there's nothing else for me here, Quinn. If there is, we can split the party for a moment, but...
So I'll say this. You've already seen that the treescape or tree palace, whatever you'd like to call it, can change. It can shift and reveal things to you sort of at a moment's notice. So not necessarily is everything down here. If you'd like to split things up for the time being, you absolutely can do so. It just comes down to whatever you two would like, or whatever your group would like.
Yeah, I mean, I know logically, like, my character can tank X amount of damage. Like, I could just walk through the fire. But, like, I'm being honest about, like, this person. Like, no one would just be like, well, I could survive with 20% of my skin to burn to a crisp. That's just not a decision that she would make. So she's like, no, you two go ahead. I'm going to keep looking around down here, see if the tree reveals anything to me.
Happy hunting.
Ominous. So ominous.
It really does feel ominous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just how he talks.
I really expected to be like, Happy Halloween, and then like push something down the stairs at you like a flaming barrel.
Why is this erotic
like
pumpkin
Donkey
being so
Kong.
strange?
My girlfriend has developed a habit of going, meow, get the fuck out the way, and then pushing me.
Okay.
She did it on the stairs recently. That was rough.
Yeah, it's very on brand. I'm going to put a picture in here. This is just Austin's hyperfixation corner of a baobab tree being turned into a water reservoir. So it's a cool diagram, I thought.
Ooh.
Do you enjoy this?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
do enjoy
absolutely.
this.
You need to it would need to have like a drill into one of its tree branches so you could just kind of suck on it. It'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, just a big straw hanging out of it. All right, so I think we're going to continue on for a moment with Stranger and Lilian. You are both at the top of this staircase, and you can see that it kind of like rounds a little bit of a corner, and there's a long hallway. I should note, everything is on fire. The walls are on fire. The ceiling is on fire. It's not immediately dangerous to you. And you succeeded in all your investigation and perception checks and everything. You've been killing it so far. So I will note to you that while everything is on fire, it does not seem to be spreading. It almost feels as if the fire is waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. Is there a room that seems to have either to be less on fire or more, vice versa?
Yeah, so this hallway leads down. There are 3 doors. 2 of them are shut. One of them at the end is where sort of everything looks to be on fire, and it is open to you.
I see. And the less on fire doors, if we try to open them, are they unlocked?
They are not. Would you like to try them? Like you're just going to try to open them?
Yeah, if there's like one close by that's that he can reach without burning himself, he'll try to open it.
Yeah, absolutely. So while this door is on fire, they're just kind of embers right now, unlike the last door, which is, in a full-on sort of emulsion at this point. I don't know if that's the word, but it's that's an inferno kind of going on. But when you try to open this door, it's not budging, and you don't think it's because it's like locked or anything like that. It feels like there's no it feels like there isn't an ability, like this door doesn't exist to be opened. Mm-hmm. You're like, it's almost like it's a wall with a doorknob on it.
It's like a video game door that doesn't have an actual room behind it.
It's like decoration on a stage.
But there is one door that is open to you.
Then I believe that is the place to go to. Is there anything on the door that, like, marks off what this room is? Like, is this Harper and Ronan's room? Don't keep out.
Yeah, I think it could have a little label on it that says has like an R on it. We'll say.
Mm-hmm. So this would be Roman's room, presumably, I guess.
And this is a bedroom that is on fire, kind of significantly on fire. Nothing immediately like on top of you or anything like that, like the staircase, but you do find yourselves surrounded by kind of a sort of small raging fire.
Is there, and I guess to ask the previous question, is there anything in this room that is conspicuously not on fire?
No.
Okay, it's just all
Everything's on fire, stranger.
I will say that there are several things in this room that you can see. There's like a giant bed. There is kind of fire on that. Not a lot, but a little bit. There's like a wardrobe that's on fire. There is, stuff shattered on the ground. And there is quite noticeably a sort of human body-shaped fire going on just like to the outside of the bed.
It's probably hard to tell. Is this Roman?
I would assume this is Roman.
Right now, that fire is going wild. You can't see anything. It just has that vague shape to it at this point.
I think if we see like a person shape fire in here, I think Lilian. I don't have much to try to help put out a fire, but I think Lilian would be like, oh, hold on, just hold on there, we got you, and try to like put it out somehow. I assume probably fail at that, but like they're trying.
If you go to touch it, it is hot to the touch. You absolutely could try to put this out if you want, but I will note that this fire is dangerous to get towards. You'll take some damage if you attempt to do that.
Yeah, I think just feeling it out. If Lilian sees someone like something that looks like it is a person in here, like I think that like that same like emotion brain that wants to protect a stupid cow activates, and Faye like will risk the damage to try to put them out.
I think Stranger will try to grab her if she's running into the room to save a dead person.
Yeah, just like if you grab Fair Arm, like I think that Faye will like pause for a second and be like, Stranger, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think we should be doing?
Lilian, they're dead already. This is a
memory. I know. But it's upsetting, It's upsetting to see someone on fire.
Unless they're on the cover of a Pink Floyd album, then it's awesome.
Of course, but there is nothing to be done. What has come to pass has already passed.
Just like, if you grab Fair Arm and you say that, like, I do think, at least at that point, Lilian would, like, take a deep breath and be like, all right. We're past that. We are past that. I will try to think of something else, a little less getting myself burnt.
Long shot. You said there was a wardrobe, right?
There's a wardrobe. There's some stuff smashed on the ground. There's a bed.
Yeah.
There's a window. There's a lot of things.
Well, you've mentioned a window. Is there anything interesting outside the window from a view?
If you look out, you just sort of see rolling hills, more or less. This house seems relatively isolated from everything else.
Okay. Is there, by any chance, like a journal anywhere?
Well, we've already done some perception checks. So I'll say this. If you were looking through the wardrobe... you do not see anything that comes across to you as a journal. There's a lot of clothing in there, and I don't know how strangers searching sort of detective at a rhythm would go. I don't know if you're like frantically throwing clothes everywhere or if you're like very slow and methodical in how you do this. I don't know. You can be kind of a American Psycho kind of vibe sometimes.
I think he's looking for something that would be hidden, because his inclination is that if, based off of what he knows about Roman so far, is that he's had kind of like a sketchy life. So he's like trying to see if there's a false bottom under anything, or like a loose floorboard or something like that, where he might have hidden something, maybe indicating indicating something of his double life or what led him to this scenario.
Sure. In fact, actually, can you give me an insight check?
Okay.
As you are trying to interact with the sort of very vibe that is Roman.
16.
16 is very good. I will say this might seem disappointing to you. You do not find anything hidden in this place, but I think that is actually what you discover, is that while you don't find anything, it seems as though everything is being laid pretty bare. It does not seem like there is a layer of artifice over anything here.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like anything is being kept from you.
Okay. All right. There's been no indication that anyone else has been here, right?
Elaborate.
Like, how would I put this? Like, has there been any indication of like these pirates or something coming in for a struggle, like damaged furniture or anything? It just seems like there's a fire that has consumed this building.
Sure. I think let's go with another investigation check for just stranger then, if this is what you're investigating, and I will also ask if Lilian wants to. All right. So I will say that this is actually very interesting, and I kind of thank you for this, Dan. So stranger is sort of looking about, and you find yourself kind of walking about. You're investigating things. I don't know how if you have like a little magnifying glass, or how you're imagining your character trying to like sleuth for clues. Mm-hmm. But you find that you step on some broken glass.
Okay.
And you're going to take 2 damage from it, as you're just like, ow, that hurts. The house seems to respond actively to you having this happen. It seems as though the house responds to you making this mistake. And in that moment, the wardrobe that was standing there tilts over, as though by sort of, you would say accident, but it almost seems cosmic how this happens in response, and collapses, trapping the two of you inside of this room.
Hell yeah.
And at that point, we're going to cut over to Hialeah.
Yeah. Do you want something from me as I wander around in the living room?
Sure. Let's get what calls to you right now? I'm feeling a little frisky.
Well, I have an ability here. Because I'm playing a treant, which is not a monster, or, a creature that's normally allowed. It's a reflavored Fearbolg. Fearbolg has something called Fearbolg Magic. I've written Treant Magic, obviously, and I can cast Detect Magic on myself with a recharge during a short rest. So I was looking to see if there's anything particularly magical here, anything that seems out of order, kind of a predator vision in the house.
I will say something that does call to you as you activate this is a newspaper that is sitting on, or sort of pushed off to the side with a bunch of things. It sort of like seems like stowed away with a couple other sort of random pieces of like maybe photo albums or some other kind of thing, but it glows as you activate your detective vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to look at the newspaper. First of all, printing presses invented. Huge coup.
Yep.
Congratulations. And cameras. So we're doing great.
Yeah, things are going pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, there's fucking trains in Eberron, whatever.
There was also a future biome in 9, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, just like straight up future biome. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think I don't want to act like a fool with like a deer in the headlights kind of thing. I would like to note that this kind of level of technology, I think, is something that will be explored in the season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So... yeah, you can look at this newspaper, and the front story, sort of in bold, is like pirate hostage situation resolved, miraculous lone survivor rescued.
Ah, okay. Am I re-adding these things to my inventory? I don't remember if we said explicitly putting the blue bunny in my pack or, the book or any of that. Also, who's taking notes? Please say someone's taking notes. This is a mystery.
I'm taking notes right now.
Okay. I'll add the newspaper to my inventory. This might come in handy later. I gotta put it into a hole or something to turn a crank. I've played Silent Hill before.
Yeah. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. I'll say one last thing as you I don't know, do you gloss over the article at all?
No, I mean, I'm in no hurry. I'm not being attacked or
Okay.
anything. I'm just going to read it.
All right. Okay, so yeah, as you read through this, it does seem to give you a little bit of a description of what happened, that there was a pirate ship of Kuatoa that attacked a civilian vessel and took everyone on board hostage, and it seems as though a rescue party was eventually assembled together to save the hostages. By the time they had gotten there, everyone had been sacrificed except for one person, the lone survivor, Roman. There is a pull quote at the end, as though Roman had been interviewed for this, where he just says, "The truth will hurt him. I'm so sorry."
Just that pull quote without context? This is a terrible journalist. Hialeah says.
Yeah.
They're not using any of the structure. It's not like the reverse pyramid. Like, come on. What's the state of journalism school in this universe?
Maybe it's a burgeoning field.
What was the exact quote again?
The truth will hurt him. I'm so sorry.
The truth will hurt him. I'm spelling wrong because I can't see my fingers. I wrote the truth will nurt him.
The truth will...
That would be great. It was misspelled in the full quote. The truth will nurt him.
The truth will nurt you free.
I think I've got some pieces coming together potentially here.
Yeah, I'm also having some ideas, some thoughts. I'm not sure I have enough to make a theory, though.
I just do it anyway, Sarah. You should just do it. It's my strategy.
So, Hialeah, you have used your detective vision. You found yourself some extra information. How do you think you're going to proceed? Are you going to hang down here and just chill and see if everyone comes back? You did hear a loud crash, I will say, from upstairs, sort of as you put your newspaper away into your inventory. There's like a big bang from upstairs.
Yeah, if they're in danger, then I guess I will charge through the flames. Is there any kind of check? I guess my thought is athletics, to just drop my shoulder and just go through it, just to maybe cover myself in the one blanket I found. Just trying to do that because I'm not going to jump. That's just not happening statistically.
Holy shit. Yes, absolutely athletics. I love this idea that you're about to be like, fuck. I feel like there's a character who does this, but there's like just like Captain America in Winter Soldier. He just like at one point runs down a hallway with his shield, just bangs into it real hard so that you can use that momentum to carry him like down the corner. I want that. So give me an athletics to see how we do.
Yeah, if my Captain America shield is just like a couch or something that I'm holding in front of me. All right, here's athletics.
That's an 11. An 11.
An 11 is okay. It is not bad. You did not fail, but you will still end up taking a little bit of damage here. I think you are going to take 2 fire damage as sort of embers are crisping up the sides of your body, but you rush through pretty quickly with some protection, so you don't get like fully incinerated or anything like that.
Oh no, 2 damage. I just shot out. I'm sorry. I'm done for. I did my best. I gave it my all. But I assume I get to the top of the stairs and there's a door that's been blocked by a wardrobe.
Yeah, you turn the corner after you get up the stairs, there's a hallway and you see this hallway, and at the end of it there is a room that is open and on fire, but there is like a wardrobe now blocking the door inside.
Perfect. Now I get to reveal what all that water talk was about. So the kind of fighter I am is a rune knight, which by the book is about carving runes to give your spell special powers. I've already talked about how she has just collected a bunch of runes on equipment she's picked up over the years. She's not the carver herself, but she's also experimenting with them. Like last episode, we saw that she can like summon fiery chains if she uses her sword in a certain way. This ability called Giant's Might. I become large, first of all, and then I get an advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. And the flavor of this is I'm picturing Hialeah with kind of a rotund midsection. She's kind of a chunky tree, but she can move the water around in her body and like Popeye.
I was just about to say, oh, you're Popeye, but a tree.
You're going gear 3.
So we have multiple cartoon character, early 1900s cartoon characters in this party.
Yeah. So yeah, her becoming large isn't just like a magical effect. It's like just redistributing it to her like biceps and quads and becoming yoked. And she has a nasty strength check and advantage on that. So I'm going to try to just demolish the wardrobe like a total badass here. 25.
Jesus. That's
she's
an
so
attack
strong.
roll then, or is that just a strength check?
That's my strength check. Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell me how you do this. How like you can send this thing flying with that kind of strength check. 25. It's the first arc, Austin. The audience needs numbers to like escalate with the story.
Yeah. I mean, this is something she can do 3 times per arc. It's equivalent to your proficiency bonus, and it's 3 right now. It will get higher. But yeah, she pushes all the water in her body into like her calves so she can kind of spring forward. Once again, not jumping off the ground, just the way a boxer kicks off the ground, and into her arms, which become huge, and she just Popeye punches the wardrobe into splinters, just shatters it, and it's just like peeking into the room to see if you all are okay. But just pure brute idiocy.
Stranger will tip his hat thankfully to Hialeah and walk out of the bedroom.
Lilian will be like Faye is a little bit in awe, like, oh, what an amazing show of strength. Thank you.
I am what I am.
Jesus.
And it only lasts for like a minute, so the water just drains back into my tummy from my limbs.
Aww.
And she just goes back to being kind of plump. As she explains to you all the newspaper, suspicious hostage situation and the pull quote. So it's like, I don't know if this is a bad guy, but he certainly seems guilty about something.
What is it? Pirates attack the ship. He's the only survivor. How long between the pirates attacking the ship and him getting rescued was it?
That detail seems to be kind of vague. It seems like there were like maybe a couple days before rescue happened.
Mm-hmm. And like what state was he in when he was rescued? Does it mention that at all?
It doesn't specifically, no.
Okay.
You just get that glorious pull quote.
Mm-hmm. So and the pull quote was, "The truth will hurt him. I'm so sorry." I'm getting an image that he may have betrayed his fellow shipgoers.
Just I am also getting some kind of vision in my mind that something happened on that ship in between the hostage happen and get rescued.
The question is, did he just save himself, or did he lead the incident to occur?
So just talking out of character, I'm still curious about how, like, the rabbit ties into this. There was a name tag, Dumas. Like, can I, like, roll history to see if, like, maybe that, like, comes up in the newspaper, or, like, there's some way to, like, figure out, like, how that's connected to the rest of this, like, like, hostage situation, death situation.
Yeah, give me a history check.
All right, history. 25.
Holy shit, what is with you guys? These rolls are bananas. Yeah, so let me say this. I want to give you something, and the first part of it is that there are several names mentioned in the newspaper. There is a mention of a Captain Dolph. There is a mention of a ship called the Judgment Day, but there is specifically nowhere in this house, in this newspaper pool article, there has not been a single mention of Dumas.
That's Dolph, D-O-L-F, or D-O-L-P-H?
D-O-L-P-H.
D-O-L-P-H. Ship called Judgment Day, but no mention of Dumas.
It should also be noted that in the newspaper article, Captain Dolph, along with the entirety of the crew, were killed.
Does it specify what the Judgment Day was doing? Was this like a merchant ship, a working ship?
It does not seem as though they were able to exactly figure it out. There was only one survivor, and they weren't able, at least in this newspaper article, there is no more information for what they said beyond the pull quote at the end.
Mm-hmm. Then I think probably the next step is to proceed to I think there's one more flaming door that's completely engulfed.
No, so I will say this. You basically start kind of going over your notes and your categorizing everything, and you hear a voice say, "I'm so sorry."
Just looking around. Where did that voice come from?
There's no roll needed. The voice is coming from the body of the person incinerated in this room. They say, "I'm so sorry." And you start to see the fire itself sort of lift off of the body and split in two.
So there are now two flaming people, like two humanoid fires. Yeah, there we go. Just dropped an image in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I dropped an image in there.
Oh, I see.
There are two flaming bodies standing in front of you, and they seem agitated.
This was the coolest part of Metal Gear Solid 5, I have to admit.
Such a lust for revenge. Who?
I say roll initiative, friends.
Oh, fuck. Alright. Let's see, initiative.
Before we start the combat, I do have to announce I have finished watching Baby Genius and the Baby in Space.
Jesus.
Didn't last even the full episode of recording. They kept it nice, tight, 75 minutes. Almost like they didn't have a lot of content.
Did the baby geniuses meet the space baby? Where is the space baby in space? Was it like a space race baby?
Yeah. I watched it. Okay. I watched it with the sound off, so I mean, I might got some of the details wrong. But there was a space baby who fought John Voight with a kind of a laser toy. There was a big showdown at the end. The cops came, and then John Voight flourished his cape and teleported away, which he has the ability to do. So, yeah.
with long ass credits, 82 minutes.
Wow. Well, they had to thank everybody,
Sure.
including Moscow, I believe, right? For letting us visit.
Yeah, there was Soviet technology in some capacity. It was hard to really parse together. That's how Sputnik was involved.
So, Stranger, there are two fiery figures standing facing you. I will note that as the fires start to kind of like mold and shape themselves into a more humanoid form, one of them has a more masculine appearance and one has a more feminine appearance. But in unison, they just say, "I'm so sorry."
So there was like a full family living in this house, right?
From what you were told by Harper, it was just him and his brother. Their parents had passed a long time ago.
We saw a picture of the full family, right? Though. Do these silhouettes resemble them at all?
Not per se. It's tough to tell because the details of the face are all kind of fire and constantly shifting and moving. But you don't believe they are explicitly meant to be like, oh, these are the parents or anything like that.
Got it. And they're not wearing a big anchor hat like Captain Rolfe, right?
Captain Dolph, thank
sure.
you very much. And no.
Okay, just checking. All right, let me just see one thing here. I need to see what the stats on these two things, not my wild shape forms, not whatever this is. Okay, so this is going to be the first time Stranger is going to use wild shape. Stranger is a druid, so he is able to transform into different creatures through the use of wild shape. But as he is a plant person, he is not exactly turning into flesh and blood animals. A strange thing about Harvestkin is that they have like an extended ecosystem of pumpkin-esque monsters. So spiders that crawl along like undergrowth. Or in this case, he is turning into something that could be analogous to a brown bear. So this squat, heavy-bodied being, he like leans forward to the ground, and the vines around that make up his arms grow thicker and more of them sprout as he kind of like, I guess, the Venom symbiote knits himself a new form. And then he is just going to maul the closest brown bear, not brown bear, fire elemental.
Sure. Give me some attack rolls.
All right, so I make 2 attacks for this.
Wowzers. Yeah, those absolutely both hit.
Oh, Jesus. So that does 22 damage.
22 damage is very good. Describe, how are you attacking this fire elemental? You're just like kind of swinging your claws in, or, you know, what are you kind of envisioning this as?
Yeah, so Stranger is all about the business. He stands on business right now. And he, like, as I said, he leans forward, his hands reaching to the ground as his shape shifts, and his cloak is just like loosely draped over this much larger form now. And he just launches himself at the closest one, raking his claws down on it before biting into whatever the shoulder of this beast would be and shaking.
All right. Terrifying. Lilian, Faye is up next.
Oh god. Okay, so while I'm still kind of like going through my spells, I can still just like normal attack these things with like my weapon, is that right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Because Lilian does have a very fancy looking rapier. It almost looks like something more for show than for fighting, like a stage fight, but like it is a functional weapon, so I'm gonna see if that'll hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
12, how's that?
A 12, unfortunately, is a miss. Even though these are beings made of fire, they have a little bit of a nimbleness to them.
Damn. Then, for my bonus action, I will expend 1 bardic inspiration to, let's say, Stranger already did a very big, cool, become a bear thing. So how about bardic inspiration to coming up next in line, Hialeah, by like doing some jazz hands and going like just where I fail, you might be able to succeed. Let's go, Hialeah! And that is a 1d8.
All right. Seeing a stranger turn into a bear and start biting a fireman, very confusing. She just runs up and tries to stab at it with her big messed up sword bundle. 15 and 26 are her attacks.
Jesus. Yeah, both of those are going to hit.
All right. So we have some big damage coming here. She once again, it's just like dozens of swords that she's collected over the years. Some she just found on the ground. Some she, slayed people who tried to rob her on the road or whatever. And she's just glued and tied and melted them together. 23 damage. She just drops this monstrosity into the middle of the fire body.
Yeah. So this figure is sort of is severely hurt as you cut through, as you try to throw sort of a gigantic pile of slag through it, and it is sort of flickering at this point. It doesn't seem to completely vanish, but it does seem as though your attacks are very effective against this creature. It is being worn down.
All right. I'm done.
But that said, it is their turn now, and both of these little creatures are going to turn their attention towards the two people engaged. So one of them is going to make a couple attacks against Stranger, and one is going to make a couple attacks against Hialeah. So we're going to start with the two attacks against Stranger.
Yep, Bear has 11 AC.
That is going to be only 10 fire damage, but I guess I have an important question to the class. Are bears considered flammable objects?
Not more than any other mammal. I mean,
I did establish I've got a ratty cloak that is probably flammable, yes.
I will say that object has caught fire, and you will take fire damage at the start of your turn until you take it out. Basically, you may sort of douse the flames.
Okie dokie.
And the second one is going to make its two attacks against Hialeah. It is 16 and 16 again.
both of those miss. 18. She has.
Oh, what?
Yeah, fighters are chonk. I have shield made of shields in one of my little branches.
Yeah, so I guess the more feminine one is going to try to like catch you while you're unaware, and then you just pulled up your shield, and you seamlessly kind of block their advance.
Yeah, and I have a reaction on the end of my opponent's turn. I can activate my stone rune, forcing a wisdom saving throw on my enemy, specifically the one that hasn't been damaged yet, because I think we're about to finish one of them off. If you fail this wisdom save, you are charmed for 1 minute. Hialeah whispers the magic activation phrase of one of the runes. Don't ask her how she figured out this is how it works, but she just says, "Pineapple."
Austin had to make sure it got in. I botched. Yeah. I roll a natural 1 to try to resist this. So does that pass?
Oh, yeah. One of the many swords in the bundle, probably like an elegant curved blade, like glows, pink and just charms the hell out of my healthy enemy. So they will not attack me.
All right. Let's just real quick see what the status condition for charm actually says, so we can read off that effects. A charmed creature can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects. They have advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature now. Interesting. All right, that sends us back to the top of the order. It is Stranger.
Okie dokie. So I'm assuming I'm taking damage for being on fire?
Yeah, we are going to roll a little extra damage on you. It is going to be only 3 fire damage. This fire is weak.
I will note something about being a druid mechanically for those who don't know, since this is a new season. Druids, basically when they wild shape, they pretty much just get a temporary health bar. As a brown bear, I will have exactly, pull this up, 34 hit points. So until I have taken 35 hit points, I have not taken one to my actual permanent health, effectively.
The next treescape you guys go to, there are fucking Gatling guns. And they're aiming right at both of you chunky motherfuckers with your extra HP pool and your 18 AC.
Yeah.
And then Lilian dies immediately.
The downside to being a bear, however, and this is, I guess, how they get you out of this status, is that once I am in it, I cannot talk and I can't cast spells. However, if I had a spell going before this, I can keep concentration running. Okay, so I am going to first attack the one that I'm currently already in combat with and see if we kill it. That's a 9. I'm assuming that misses.
That is unfortunately a miss.
And a 16.
The 16 is a hit.
All right, that is the claws then. And that is 13 damage.
All right. How does this go for you? Is this elemental is going to be puffing up into smoke in just a second? Describe how it is for you.
You killed the dandelion too. You're a kill-stealing hogger.
Well, not in this case. No, I did a good chunk of damage to this guy. I did kill steal the dandelion. That is true. But this guy I hit.
All right, I'm just joking.
So his teeth are already latched onto this flaming being, and he rakes his claws into its chest, and just pulls in the opposite direction, and just pulls the fire elemental completely until it dissipates into smoke and ash.
Yeah, absolutely. All that remains is sort of a couple wisps of smoke that lead into the ceiling where there's still fire kind of actively stuck in like a sort of stasis loop of like crackling and burning, but not spreading anymore. And you guys are left with one elemental that is charmed, and I will say right now it is Lilian's turn, but for at least the immediate purpose, this creature is sort of in a somewhat mixed state as it's been charmed.
Stranger says something ominous, but as a bear, no one understands it.
Ominous bear growling.
I don't know if you have a plan, Lilian. I get advantage on social rolls here, so.
Yeah, it's like Lilian. I've been waiting for my turn to roll around again because Lilian wants to pause and say, like, before we keep fighting, I want to know what, like who. Just like, I assume it's not like immediately a presumption that this is like Roman because we can't really tell who or what this thing is aside from fire, right?
I was going to say there were sort of two figures. One was more masculine, and one was more feminine. I don't want to like explicitly put concrete labels to anything. Just one as a way to differentiate the two.
Yeah.
And then this is the one remain has I would say I guess more feminine energy or shape or however you want to describe it.
Were the voice, because these things were also saying "I'm sorry," right?
Mm-hmm.
Were the voices different than what we heard originally, or is it the same voice over and over?
It's the same voice. I probably haven't done the exact same voice each time because I forget how I said it originally.
Yeah.
But
Got it.
Like I'll like center myself, repeat myself. Like Lilian wants to pause, but before we keep fighting, like Lilian goes like before we keep this fight going. Who are you? Why are you sorry?
I didn't mean to. It was a mistake. I just couldn't bear to see any more pain.
Just what was your mistake? If it was a mistake, then obviously you didn't mean it.
I'm not. And the fire elemental just seems to repeat that note over and over again.
Hialeah lifts the bundle of swords. One of them still glowing, like as if it has some kind of ongoing power over the elemental. Is going to roll, I think, intimidation and just say, "State your name. What is your unfinished business?" 21.
Jesus.
Fuck, man.
But I'm doing the power of Christ compels you with my sword, my rat king of swords.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this elemental, as you threaten, they are going to immediately cower. You know, like imagine sort of like a game where your character can maybe like an MMO or something like that, where your character can hit like various emotions for poses or whatever. This is absolutely like immediately turning into like from static into like pleading for themselves, like on their knees, hands up in the air. And the elemental just says, "I'm sorry, Dumas, I'm sorry."
The bunny did it? Oh my gosh.
I think Dumas is the name of the rabbit's owner.
Who lit the fire?
The elemental is going to sort of pause and point a finger towards the shattered object on the ground and sort of just shake and quiver.
The shattered object, is that the wardrobe I punched?
No, that is not the wardrobe. If you recall at the start, I mentioned that there was some broken objects on the ground. If you turn your attention, you can find the remains of a shattered lantern that looks like it fell off a hook on the wall.
All right, let's see. I actually have, as part of my stone rune, which I've discussed before, literally the same thing that lets me charm people, gives me advantage on insight checks. So I would like to do that to figure out what this person's talking about. 17 as I raise my bundle of swords.
Wow. 17, I will say, first and foremost, you don't think that this is someone trying to mislead you or anything like that. This person is pointing in the direction of the smashed object and the hook as though there were an answer there. And if you look over, sort of carved into the wall with like ash are some words.
Drink Ovaltine.
Yeah. The hook itself looks like it snapped off, like almost completely. And it just says in this carved message, "I'm cursed. This is what I deserve."
Oh, fuck. Okay, with a 17, so do I think that this is a literal curse that is affecting this person, and he feels bad, and the pirate stuff and the fire were both not his quote-unquote fault, but his presence? Is that what we're getting?
So I want to, I don't know how to, all right. So give me a history check, if you would, please.
All right.
This is sort of a meta history check.
Is this everyone or just Hialeah?
I'll say everyone, because you all can see this message. This isn't hidden information from anyone.
Because I'm getting like, did he self-immolate intentionally? I got 6.
5.
I got 16.
So that is a fail, but I will say that Lilian is able to roll high enough that I will say there's a piece of information I'm going to say you are able to recall that Harper told you about his brother.
Didn't he expressly say that he had a run of bad luck?
Yeah, it was like he was very unlucky, but he was fortunate once in surviving the scrap with pirates.
I say as the DM, curious.
Very curious indeed. Is there some cursed pirate treasure hidden that we need to go dig up?
I will note, as you've noted this, the elemental seems to break free of the charm, which I believe was supposed to last 1 minute. So it is aggressive again, and it is going to turn its attention towards you, Hialeah, now that it's free of the charm. And we're going to go right back into combat order until we deal with this last one, okay?
I wouldn't.
She says in character.
Does a 20 hit your AC?
Sure does.
Yeah, how about that? All right, this is going to be 10 damage, fire damage. Are you considered a flammable object? I think so.
No, I mean, not according to the rules, but, you
Damn. All right, fine. You will just take 10 fire damage, and we're gonna go back to Stranger. This elemental is freed of the mind control. This temporary thing, and is angry.
Okay, I guess if we were if they were discussing this for the span of a minute without a fight going on, Stranger probably put the fire on himself out by this point.
Yes, I'm not taking more damage on you that way.
He just forgot for 60 straight seconds to do anything. Crit and 18.
Ooh. Nice.
Jesus. Yeah, those both hit. Let's see what that crit damage is.
And then this will be the bite. So that is 22 damage.
22 damage is very good damage. It's not enough to kill it, but it is putting a decent chunk in. Lilian, it is your turn.
All right. I think that Lilian is going to use a fair cantrip, Vicious Mockery, which is a wisdom saving throw, I believe.
Yes, the much hotly debated Vicious Mockery. Is it a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
Oh, fire elementals do not have a lot of wisdom. It is only an 8. Does that pass?
No,
Did
it
I
does
win?
not. You did not win.
That's
And
unfortunate.
in my mind's eye, Vicious Mockery has been kind of like renamed in my head as instead heckling, like heckling from a crowd. It's just like trying to think of like just your form is poor and fire is overrated.
Oh, there's like a audible gasp and like a small. I would like to say tear, but I guess it's just more fire.
And that is 4 psychic damage.
Ooh, very good. All right. That deals some damage, but the fire elemental is still standing. Anything else you'd like to do?
I think not for the moment, no. I think that ends my turn.
All right. It is Hialeah's turn.
All right, she's going to do the fighter thing. 16 and 20.
Those both hit.
All right, she's just choking up on her sword like a baseball batter, and it's just 29 damage. Swings through, just tries to blast them apart completely.
Yeah. Describe this for me, Austin. Describe how you take out this elemental.
I mean, she has great follow through, great form. Keeps the shoulders square, steps into it. Maybe says one of those cool Bond one-liners like, my favorite 2019 French historical romantic drama was Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and then just swigs through it and scatters this lady all around the room.
Ooh, foul ball.
What a reference. Holy shit.
It's really good.
It's a very good reference. The elementals have both been defeated. They have turned into ash and smoke and cinders. And I will note that the body that was on fire has also ceased to be on fire. It has been put out as these elementals have disappeared.
Medicine check on the body. What do we do when we see a body in D&D? Friends? This is like Blue's Clues. Medicine check,
Medicine
Austin.
check.
Medicine check.
Well, I've got training in that.
3.
21.
21 also.
I love that the person who's like, let's go do the medicine check. Let's go do the medicine check. And then they get there and they're like, I got a 3. What'd you guys get?
Yeah, they just push her out of the way. She's standing there just like, oh, yes, yeah, definitely. Diagnosis, 5 cc's of, a syringe, scalpel. And you two are actually doing all the work. And she's just standing there.
I think it makes sense that Hialeah would not really know anything about like a human body to determine like, is this normal? Whereas Lilian has like the closest to a humanoid body here, and then Stranger grew out of a dead guy.
Yeah, Stranger has first-hand experience, like, with the dead bodies, and then I imagine Lilian probably, like, I don't know, helps with injuries on set also.
Hialeah just pointing at things. Watch out for the lower blood bone.
It sounds like me trying to do science on animals. Like, I'm like, ooh, that has a thorax, I believe, correct?
All right.
They're like, well, a dog does not usually. So with these double excellent 21s, you are able to determine that, yes, this body has been burned to a crisp. This is a pretty open and shut case, detective. But as you investigate this body, as you determine more, you see that there is a part on the face where skin is starting to flake off. And at first, it is very light, almost as though like someone brushed up against it. But slowly it starts to increase more and more until giant pieces of it are sort of breaking off. And slowly this burnt face reveals another face underneath. One that is pale white with featureless, empty eyes.